Guys, so we've been married for a year and a half. I was able to change my name on almost everything, and the last step is my passport. So I am currently about to go into the big what do you call it, post office here to get this baby updated. The thing that I do not like is the fact that you have to like renew your passport in order to get your name changed. I really wish they would just keep the passport the same and just do the name update, because my husband, my son, and myself, we all got our passport at the same time. So I don't want to be on a different I don't want to renew mine at a different time than they are going to be renewing theirs, because it's just kind of all easy to keep it together. But it's okay, whatever. So again, we're going to the post office right now to go and renew my passport, but update my name. This is the last step that I have to do, and I'm so super duper excited. So I'm gonna take you guys with me. Is your application form. Something gross on the ground. So you have to have your... Okay. I was trying to actually record as I was walking into the post office, but a notification came up on my phone that I had too much storage used up. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually get video of me doing this stuff, but and I probably wasn't going to be able to get like actual video, but I wanted to take you guys along. But it's okay. I just figured I'll just come on here and tell you guys how it went, and a few key points that I thought were pretty important. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to the online website, which is travel.state.gov. It is the U.S. Department of State site. On there, you're going to see all the different passport options. And the really cool thing that I like about this is it will send you to the exact form that you need. There are forms for all different kinds of things. First time passports, a regular passport renewal, replacing a lost or damaged passport, or name change. So what it will do is it'll take you through a list of questions, and based on your answers, again, it takes you directly to that form. You'll fill out the form. At the end, you will print it, and you will have that handy to take to your appointment or your walk-in, wherever you go to do your the name change on your passport. So you've got your application done. What's next? You're going to want to gather the following documents. Number one is your marriage license. So I'm not talking about the license that you and your spouse sign together, your officiant signs, your two witnesses, and you frame it all nice and pretty and put it up on your wall. That's not the one I'm talking about. You're gonna actually need the marriage license that was submitted to your city hall or to your county that has the state seal on it. So you will need the original copy of that license. The next thing you're going to need is a copy of your current state issued ID that has the name change already on there. In my case, I have the Real ID driver's license. So that's what I took for my identification with the name change. In addition to that, you're going to need your Social Security card. I am not talking about a picture of the Social Security card. I am not talking about the number written down on a sticky note. You need the actual physical card. And again, that card needs to also reflect your updated name change. Next, your actual passport book or card, whichever you are updating with your new name. Of course, what you're going to be doing is taking that old passport card or book, and you're going to be surrendering that to them, because you have taken on a new identity. So you're going to be issued a brand new passport with your updated name on there. So take that original one with you along with your other documents. One thing that I think is pretty important to remember also is you are going to want to go with a money order or a check. They do not accept cash and they also don't allow you to pay or write down like a credit or debit card number. Wherever you go to do this name change on your passport, they're going to gather all your paperwork for you, and then they send it to the passport processing center, unless you are going to the passport processing center directly. So again, they don't allow you to put cash in the envelope. They don't allow you to write down a credit card number. So be prepared to either have a money order already handy, or if you are at a place that issues money orders, then you can just buy one there. In my case, I went to the big post office here, and so obviously I was able to use my credit card to purchase the money order, which they then will send that money order with my paperwork to the passport processing center. All right, so let's just run through this list of documents one more time so we can make sure we're prepared. First, you've got your application that you filled out online and printed. Next, you need your state issued driver's license or ID, whichever you have, as long as it does reflect your new updated last name. Next, you have your social security card, the actual card that also reflects your new name. Then you're gonna have the actual marriage license, not the pretty one that's sitting on the dresser or hanging up on the wall in a beautiful frame. You need the actual marriage license that you got from your county, from the city, with that state seal on it. And then you need to have your form of payment, whether it is a check or a money order. One last bonus thing that you can take with you, but you don't necessarily have to, is a photo. So where I went, they did offer to do photos there for an additional fee. The fee is $15. I went ahead and had my photo taken today when I got there, but you are able to actually get your photo taken somewhere else and take it along with all of your documents in your application. I do believe places like drugstores, CVS or Rite Aid, they may still offer those services. I think you may also be able to do it at home, but take a look at the instructions on that website that I gave and look at the stipulations for that photo, because it has to be very specific. For instance, you have to have like a plain white background. You can't have like anything obstructing your face. As you see, I have, a little bit of hair hanging in front of my face today. And so when I went to go get my photo taken, I had to actually move my hair from in front of my face so that they can get my entire face. So again, check the stipulations and the instructions on the website. It'll also be listed on the paperwork and instructions that is included on your application. So you can see exactly what kind of picture is needed. If all else fails, hopefully you pick a location to go to that offers to do the passport photos for you there. And then you don't have to worry about making sure that the one that you have gone out to get or have done yourself, you want to make sure it's not turned away. Alrighty. So once I got there with all of my information, documents, application, etc., I was able to pretty much get there and be done with everything within 15 minutes. This location I don't think offered to do the name change portion of your passport with an appointment, or like to set up an appointment for that. I think the option was to either mail it, which I'm not comfortable mailing in my information myself. I'd rather go somewhere to an entity that can mail it for me. But I believe the options that I saw so far, or as I was looking around the last few weeks, was to mail it in or do a walk-in. And this location was the location we originally went to get our first passports, so I was already familiar with it. Walk-in hours here it's Monday through Wednesday from 1:15 to 2:15. I got there at 2 o'clock, and there was no one in line at all. There was a woman that had an appointment at like 2 o'clock, so she was already being taken care of at 2 when I walked in. And then as I was going through everything, with the gentleman that was helping me. Another woman came in for her appointment that was at 3. So with me getting in there during those walk-in hours, it was right between those 2 appointments, and it was a breeze. What really helped was the fact that I did my research of what I needed to take along, and I had that application already filled out. That will save you so much time. So like I mentioned, it was a quick, easy process. He asked for my information, meaning all the documents and the application that I sent in. The one thing I do want to make sure that I at least let you guys know is the supporting documents that you are including with your application, such as your marriage license, your social security card. You are not going to have possession of those original documents for a few weeks. The only thing they take a copy of is your state issued ID or driver's license. So I got that back today. However, my marriage license and my social security card, the actual documents, will also be sent in along with the application and my most recent or most current passport book. So keep that in mind, but they do mail them back along with your passport. I think in some cases you might get the documents before you get the passport, but either way, they will send those back to you in the mail. They are going to mail everything back to you within 4 to 6 weeks. So make sure that you're giving yourself enough time in between when you submit your application and documents and the time that you are leaving for a trip, because you don't want your passport to be in the mail on its way to you when you are on the way to your destination and you don't have access to that passport to be able to get on that airplane or take that vacation that you've been dreaming of. If you're taking a cruise, the good thing is you do have the option, depending on the cruise, you can use a birth certificate and other supporting documents. But in our experience, it's just so much better to have a passport when you're cruising and really when you're traveling in general. And so if you do need your passport to travel, for sure, depending on where you're going, make sure you give yourself enough time to allow that full 4 to 6 week window so it doesn't interrupt your plans. So now that I've scared you guys, the routine processing time is 4 to 6 weeks. You do have the option to pay for an expedited passport, which is an additional $60 on top of the fees that you have already paid. So if you are in a crunch, let's say you just realized that your passport was expiring and you have a trip coming up in 2 months, then you are able to pay the $60 for them to expedite the processing and get you your passport. But just don't put yourself in that situation. Even with the expedited option, I would still give myself plenty of time, because with the mail these days, you just kind of never know what can happen. And one last gem that I think is pretty important. So if you are going on a trip, most places, well, I don't know if this is standard or if it depends on where you're going, but most places will require that your passport is valid, meaning have not expired, at least 6 months after the return of your trip. All right, so let's get into the cost. How much did I pay today to get all of this done? So today is October of 2025. Depending on when you see this video, the price can change. Maybe it won't, but I'll let you know what it is as of today. And I'm gonna go off of my receipt. So to renew the passport with the name change, that's $130. I purchased a money order, which was $2.55. I did have them do my photo while I was there today, which was $15. And then of course the priority mail to mail it from the post office to the passport processing center was $11.90. So altogether, my total came to $159.45. So that's pretty much it. So now I just wait the 4 to 6 weeks to get my updated passport and get ready for our trip at the end of the year with my new name, my new identity. It feels really good. But I know, like, that's the one thing about getting married that seems so tedious, is the fact that you have to go and update your name everywhere and with everything. So hopefully you were able to find some sort of gem in this. Hopefully it was helpful. If something I said does not make any sense, I apologize. The best bet is to go straight to the website, which again is travel.state.gov.